look at the ingredients, and if the ingredients don't say anabolic steroids, it's a scam. Hey, what's up? So in this video, I'm going to be discussing 5 things which I think are kind of overrated when it comes to hypertrophy. So I'm not trying to say that any of these are just completely to be ignored. Obviously, they do have a certain importance, but I think some people just overplay it a little bit and make it out to be that you need to do things a certain way, and if you don't do it that way, you're doing it wrong. So I'm trying to add a bit of nuance into the discussion and trying to make sure that you're focusing on things which actually make a big difference in your training and not obsessing over things which might not be quite as important. Okay, so getting straight into it, I will leave timestamps on this video, so feel free to jump around. And let's get straight into the first one. So the first one I want to talk about is going to be exercise selection. So I really don't think this is as important as people make it out to be. You have a lot of people claiming that one exercise is better than another exercise, or this is the best exercise for this muscle. And I think that is just a completely impossible claim to make. There is no such thing as one exercise which is the best exercise for everyone. Everyone is different, everyone has different goals, everyone has a different build and leverages and whatnot, so you can't just blanket statements say that this is the best exercise for everyone. I think you need to experiment for yourself, and you need to try a wide range of exercises and see what works best for you. The important thing is that you enjoy the exercise. That is very important. It needs to be something that you actually like to do and that you can come back and do over and over again, week after week. And it needs to get you the results that you want, and it needs to feel good for your body. So I'd say those 3 things are much more important than just having one exercise for a certain muscle. So I think you need to look at it in terms of movement patterns, like rather than just looking at one exercise in a vacuum, look at it as a movement pattern. So for example, hip hinges, there's so many different types of hip hinges you can do. There's Romanian deadlifts, there's just conventional deadlifts off the floor, there's sumo deadlifts, trap bar deadlifts, stiff leg deadlifts, all these different types of hip hinges. But at the end of the day, they are all hip hinges. They're all kind of working the same muscles. And if you just really enjoy doing Romanian deadlifts rather than conventional deadlifts, or you really enjoy doing trap bar deadlifts or whatever it is, if that's your thing, then do it. And if you enjoy doing that, you're going to get better results from it because you're willing to do it over and over again. And no one can come and say, okay, the stiff leg deadlift is the best deadlift. You just can't say that. So, if someone's going around there claiming that they found the best exercise, then ignore them because they have no idea what they're talking about, right? There's only the best exercise for you, and the same goes for any other movement pattern. You've got your horizontal presses, you can do barbell bench press, you can do dumbbell bench press, you've got incline, decline, you've got push-ups, dips. All of these things work the same movement pattern, they work the same muscles, and any of them can get you just as good results as the others. So, for all of your exercises, look at them in terms of your movement patterns. You've got your hip hinge, you've got your vertical press, your horizontal press, your knee flexion, your vertical pull, and that's about it. So look at those and try to find exercises that fit within those, which you enjoy doing and which get you the results that you're looking for. Don't go on YouTube and try and look for the best exercise because it doesn't exist and you're not going to find it. Okay, so moving on to the second one is going to be your rep range. So I'm sure you've seen these charts online. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but it'll say like 1 to 5 reps is for strength and 6 to 12 reps is for hypertrophy, and 15 plus reps is for endurance, right? Or you'll have people say that you need to do this exercise with this rep range and you need to do this exercise with this rep range and whatnot. And it's just not black and white like that. Any rep range pretty much can work for any exercise, obviously within reason, right? I mean, there's certain things which are just stupid, like, you don't want to do a 1 rep max lateral raise, or you don't want to be doing 2 reps of a calf raise. That just doesn't make any sense. You also probably don't want to be doing 50 reps on a deadlift, for example, or on a squat. But as long as we're within some sort of reasonable range, let's say between 4 reps and 30 reps or 25 reps, kind of anything within that range can work for any exercise. So give it a try, see what works for you. In my personal training, I have rep ranges anywhere between sort of 4 to 6 on the low end, and other exercises, I do them between 15 and 20. And I'm doing those exercises for hypertrophy. I'm not doing those exercises for cardio or for muscular endurance. I don't care about that. For me, those exercises work well in the 15 to 20 rep range. And I have other exercises which, I do 4, 5, 6 reps. And I'm not doing those exercises for strength. I'm also doing those exercises for hypertrophy. They just work well for me in that rep range. So feel free to experiment for yourself. And as long as you're within reason, between 4 and 30 reps, anything can work for you. The important part is that you're hitting the muscle that you want to hit. For example, on the lateral raise, as I was saying before, if you're trying to do 2 reps on the lateral raise, chances are it's just way too heavy and you're not going to feel much at all in your delts. So, you're going to need to do a lot more reps. And you want to feel it in the muscle and not in the joint. So, if you're trying to do even say 5 or 6 reps on a lateral raise, yeah, maybe you'll start to feel it a little more in your shoulder, but the actual rotator cuff might feel, really bad doing that heavy weight on that kind of movement. So maybe that will be better for you in a 10 to 15 rep range or a 15 to 20 rep range. Other exercises, like really heavy exercises, like a squat, for example, your cardio could get involved if you do too many reps. If you don't have amazing cardio, maybe doing 15 reps of squats is just too intense for you. So you keep it lower. Maybe you're doing 4 to 8 reps or 5 to 10 reps. It's something you need to play around with. And just don't believe that there is a certain rep range, which is the absolute best rep range for a certain exercise or for hypertrophy, because anything can work as long as you're actually using the muscles you want to use. You're being friendly to your joints and tendons and ligaments and getting the results that you want to get. So feel free to play around with your rep ranges. All right, the third one we're going to be talking about is your split, your workout split. So which body parts you train on which day. This is another thing where you have a lot of people saying, this is the best split. Push-pull legs is the best split, or upper-lower is the best split. So personally, I have trained seriously with 3 different splits. I started off doing push-pull legs, then I did upper-lower, and currently I'm doing full body. I have made fantastic gains with all 3 of these, and I'm sure if I were to try another one, I would also be able to make fantastic gains with that other one. The point is that you're training with intensity, you're going close to failure, and whatever split you're using needs to make sense for you, for your schedule, for how many days per week you're able to train, and for your enjoyment. Certain people, they absolutely hate leg days. They just can't stand doing leg days. They can't stand coming to the gym and doing 6 leg exercises. For these people, a full body split might be a fantastic compromise or a fantastic option, because they come to the gym and they only need to do 1 or maybe at most 2 leg exercises per day, and it gets spread out over the week. So you can't just go say that push-pull legs is the best split. And at the end of the day, the split really doesn't matter that much, guys. It's just completely personal preference how you spread out your exercises over the week. As long as you're doing the proper exercises with the proper amount of volume and the proper intensity, it really doesn't matter that much how you spread it out. You just need to spread it out according to your preferences, your goals, and your schedule. And as long as you're following those, it really, really doesn't matter how you're doing it. So don't let people convince you that there's one body part split which is better than another. Try it for yourself, experiment, and see what you enjoy most. For me, at the moment, I just started doing full body less than a month ago, and I'm really enjoying it. For now, it seems to be the most enjoyable split that I've done. Now, does that mean that it's better than the other splits? No, I just enjoy doing it more. But at the end of the week, if you look at my volume, it's pretty much exactly the same as the other splits. It's just spread out differently. So you're going to get the same results. Do whatever you enjoy the most. Okay, the fourth one I'm going to be talking about is supplements. So this is one where I'm just going to go ahead and say that the vast majority of supplements are straight up scams and will do nothing for you other than take your money, right? So you've got so many supplements out there making absolutely crazy claims. It's going to put on this much muscle in this much time, and you've got the photo of the, roided out bodybuilder on the label and whatnot. Guys, it's this simple. There are no supplements which do not contain steroids that are actually going to make a meaningful difference in your physique. It's that simple. If there's a supplement making a claim that this is going to help you build muscle faster, look at the ingredients, and if the ingredients don't say anabolic steroids, it's a scam, okay? It's that simple. Now, there's protein powder. Protein powder is okay if you really struggle getting protein in. If you don't eat enough protein, then protein powder can be a convenience where, you can just down a shake quickly and you get 30, 40 grams of protein, whatever. That's not a scam, right? That's okay. If you struggle to get enough protein, then feel free to use protein powder. But if you do eat enough protein in your food during the day, you don't need protein powder. You're just wasting your money on it because after a certain point, you really don't need more protein. Another one which could be useful is creatine. Plenty of studies on creatine saying that it does something, right? What it does is going to be a couple percent. It's not going to radically transform your physique. It's not like you're not taking creatine, you look a certain way, you start taking creatine and suddenly you look much better. It's absolutely not going to be like that. It's going to be a minuscule difference, but creatine is cheap and it's well researched. So if you want to use it, then be my guest, but you absolutely do not need creatine and you absolutely will not make a radical physique transformation by using creatine. So those two are the only ones which I can kind of say are legitimate. Any other supplement, test booster, turkestrone, BCAAs, all these guys, they are all scams. You are wasting your money on all of them. If they don't include anabolic steroids, they are not going to make a big difference in your hypertrophy. It's as simple as that. So, if you want to use something, use protein powder, maybe use creatine, and the rest of it, just stay away. Also pre-workout is another one. I mean, the thing you're looking for there is the caffeine, pretty much. If I'm not a stimulant guy, I don't even drink coffee at all. So I'm not into it. I don't use it. You don't need to use pre-workout. You 100% do not need pre-workout. But, if for whatever reason, your schedule, you get to the gym, you're super tired, maybe a pre-workout can be useful for you. That actually does something because you're taking lots of caffeine and it's gonna, boost your energy levels. So that can do something for you. It's not gonna build muscle, but it's gonna give you some temporary energy, which might help you train harder in the gym. Again, not something that you need, but feel free to use it if you're into the caffeine thing. Okay. So that was my take on supplements. The final one is diet. So I made a whole video about why I think diet is overrated. I'll link it below if you want to go check it out. The short version of that, which I'll talk about here, is basically diet is incredibly overrated, in my opinion, when it comes to building muscle, right? Diet is extremely important for losing fat, and it's extremely important for being healthy. So, obviously diet is very important. But just focusing in on the building muscle thing, you're not going to build muscle by eating healthy. You're going to build muscle by going in the gym and training hard. That's what builds muscle, and you need to remember that. Don't convince yourself that you're building muscle because you're eating an amazing diet. That's not why you're building muscle. The diet can help optimize those last couple percent of your muscle building potential, but it's not going to radically transform your physique. The only thing you need to worry about in terms of diet is getting enough calories in. That's pretty much the only thing. And then as a secondary one is the protein. Usually if you're getting enough calories in and you're not eating absolute dog shit food, like, you know, if you're just living on sweets and candy and potato chips, then yeah, you might not be getting enough protein in. But if you're eating like a normal diet, you know, normal food that you cook at home, chances are if you're eating enough calories, you're also getting enough protein, right? But if you struggle with your diet a bit, make sure you're getting enough calories, look at your protein. That's it. Those are the two variables you need to look at for your diet to build muscle. Sure, if you're going to be a professional bodybuilder on stage and you need to get that 1% advantage over your competitors, then you need to look at your macronutrients and your micronutrients, and you need to weigh out everything and make sure that everything's absolutely perfect and you're hitting your target for every single day. But for a normal person that just wants to have a great physique, wants to look good, wants to build muscle, the only things you need to worry about is that you're eating enough to actually be building muscle, to be putting on weight, and to be eating a decent amount of protein. That's it. The rest of your diet, guys, it really is not that important, and your results are going to come in the gym. They're not going to come from the kitchen. So, once you've built up a certain physique and you want to lean down, you want to get that six pack, you want to, really show off the muscles, then yes, you need a certain amount of knowledge with your diet, and you need a certain amount of tracking and whatnot to be able to actually lean down and do that without losing muscle and whatnot. But in terms of actually building muscle, we're talking about hypertrophy here. Diet is incredibly overrated, in my opinion. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this format that I haven't done in a while. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can leave a comment down below. I'll also link in the description my Natty Lifters Club Discord, which you can feel free to join us and get in touch with me on there. And thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.